Hello guys, karibuni ndani ya our special segment ya analysis ndani ya Soccer Connect. So tunakuwa tunaangalia hapa why Arteta prefers David Raya to Ramsdale. Juu wase wengi hawajajua the difference. Wase wengi hawaja understand why, because ukiangalia na eye test inakaa ni kama the two hawana difference. But if you watch them, lafu uende udigin kidogo kwa stats, you'll see difference. And Raya is really dominating Ramsdale in so many of these stats, by the way. So tutakuwa tunaangalia kwanza background story ya why Raya is at Arsenal saizi. It's a move yenye imekuwa in the pipeline before hata Brentford walikuwa promoted. Before Arsenal wanunue Ramsdale, Arsenal wali inquire about David Raya. Brentford refused. And in move pia imekuwa ikiwa pushed na Arsenal goalkeeping coach Inaki Kana, who worked with Raya at Blackburn and then moved to Brentford. Alisaidia Brentford kusign Raya. And then Inaki Kana moved to Arsenal from Brentford, and then amesaidia Arsenal tena kusign Raya. The move, it's currently a 3 million loan with option to make it permanent for 27, which I think will be made permanent because currently still early days, but Raya looks like Arteta's guy so far. And then Arteta was sounding very politically right. Akisema he doesn't see a difference in goalkeeping, rotation, na nini. It's just a position like any other. But I think he just wanted to sound politically right. Could diffuse the pressure from the situation. So ukiangalia kiasi, so far the last few games, since the last international break, Arsenal game versus Everton hadi sahi, Raya has been starting all the Premier League and Champions League games. Ramsdale ameanza only Carabao Cup game away versus Brentford. So clearly, tunarudi back to what we know. The goalkeeping position hainanga rotation. It is inakuanga na very clear like hierarchy. You know who's the first keeper and who's the second keeper. Ramsdale has been speaking, making some noise when he may affect being dropped and how he needs minutes going into the Euros, which might affect his position, though I think he'll still be selected. Gareth Southgate proved he's very loyal to his people, the same way he calls Calvin Phillips, Harry Maguire. I think Ramsdale ataitwa, that's my opinion, whether he's playing or not. But from a footballing point of view, he needs to be playing in order to compete with Pickford. Pickford anacheza daily. Pickford is playing each week. So form-wise, Pickford will be up there. And then the only coach mwenye ana rotate ni De Zerbi with Steele and Verbruggen. And he was also doing it with Steele and Sanchez. Got to a point he dropped Sanchez kabisa. Yeah, so let's see. This situation to Ramsdale is very identical to what he did to Leno as well. So it's proving to be a trend. Like, one thing I'm very happy with as an Arsenal fan, ni Arteta is like akona hiyo standards, hana loyalties kama his predecessor and his father Arsene Wenger mwenye alikuwa na loyalties na players, because some fans are arguing, wanasema Ramsdale ametufikisha sijui wapi, he deserves. Football doesn't work like that. Ruthlessness is the name of the game. If you can get someone who will give you marginal benefits, you replace the player and it continues. Because I'm sure Arteta akipata 20 goal forward sahi, he drops Jesus tomorrow, like hajawahi msaidia anywhere. And that's how top teams run. Ukiangalia Man City, Real Madrid, they replace you like you are never there. They don't keep crying and making faces hapo. Okay, so tukianza na stats za last season, compare between David Raya na Aaron Ramsdale, we'll be looking at very different stats. Like the first one, Raya alicheza 3,420 minutes. He's 27 years old. Ramsdale pia alicheza 3,420 minutes. Yeah, so let's see the comparison. Ramsdale is 25 years old, Raya is 27. And so tulianza na goals conceded. Ramsdale alikuwa na concede 1.13 goals per game, Raya ni 1.21. Yeah, so ukiangalia save percentage, David Raya alikuwa na 78.2 last season, Ramsdale alikuwa na 69.1. Saves, Raya alikuwa na 4.1 saves per 90 per game. Yes, Ramsdale alikuwa na average 2.5 saves per 90. So you seeing like una disparity. Raya is already starting to look. Prevented goals, Raya like goals conceded, Raya hapa kona 0.02, Ramsdale akona negative 0.110. Crosses collected, this is actually one of the reasons zenye Raya anaosha Ramsdale kabisa. Crosses collected, Raya akona 1.4, Ramsdale akona 0.6 crosses collected per game. Actually, it's one of my biggest issues na Ramsdale because it brings a lot of unnecessary chaos, especially in set pieces. Spilling the ball, kutokea miss ball. The way Raya commands his box, if you watch games zenye anacheza, the way he comes for crosses, ina save defense a lot of trouble. And then sweep action, Raya alikuwa na 1.4 per 90, Ramsdale 1.1. Sweep action distance wako almost the same, 15.3 meters per 90. Thrown passes, Ramsdale is edging Raya. This is the first start. 4.6, Raya at 4.1. Long passes, this is another metric where Raya anaosha Ramsdale heads and shoulders. Because if you look at Arsenal suffered sana last season when teams caught us and wakaharibu our playing out from the back. There's something Arteta is introducing this season, bypassing the press. And you saw it against Man City. We also used it against Man City kwa Community Shield. Arsenal this season wako na hiyo option ya kubypass the press. So Raya's long passing is going to be an asset. Bypassing the press and then going straight to the forward and knocking it down and then scoring. So long passing, Raya kona 26.8, Ramsdale akona 13.7. Long passes completed, Raya ni 45.1, Ramsdale 36.2. Short passing, Raya akona 16.3, Ramsdale akona 15.4. So ukiangalia short passes completed, they are almost tying, but I have another graphic tuonyesha strength ya how good Raya is kwa short passing. The only thing that makes Raya not look like akona short passing mzuri, it's because Brentford preferred to play longer to Tony because wakona Tony, they used him very well, so they didn't build up so much from the back. So at Arsenal we are going to see it because ukiangalia in this graphic hapa ya Opta, provided by Opta, ukiangalia Raya in the last 2 seasons for Brentford, 66 of his touches short passing yake iko fiti sana. Aliguza 66 of his touches in the central zones na 15% kwa hiyo zone iko hapo nje ya box, so showing 66% of his open play passes inaonyesha Raya is very good at short passing because you can't be having this much touches if you're not good at that. And then another thing that Raya is offering over Ramsdale, again, there's this graphic that will appear on the screen, the positioning. Raya's ability to step up and join the back line asaidia Arsenal na build up, because Arsenal build up in a 3-2 most of the games. Na normally hiyo 3-2 inakuanga Saliba kama central center back, Ben White kama the right center back, Gabriel Magalhaes kama the left center back. So David Raya joins anakuwa the central center back sometimes ama anakuwa the left center back sometimes. So this one, the advantage with this one ni kwa hiyo 3-2, so Ben White anakuwa na chance ya kuenda mbele and helping the team kukuwa na more numbers mbele, ku create overloads, of which if we play through and tufike huko mbele, now we have tunajipata tuko na 2v1 all across the pitch if we beat the first phase of press, which we do often. Yeah, and ukiangalia hata the manager alisema after the City game, I think Raya was excellent, the way he controlled the ball, how dominant he was and how high he played. That's one of the key figures, how high Raya is comfortable playing. And then Arteta said, I love players with courage, and David certainly has big ones, because kucheza that high and being very calm it's very important for the way teams like Arsenal, City want to play. You need a goalkeeper mwenye ako very comfortable playing almost as a center back during build up. So tukimove kwa comparisons za Raya na Ramsdale hii season, we can see that this season Raya is still dominating Ramsdale because they are also playing in the same team now, the same setup. The comparisons might be a bit fair. After both playing 4 games each, Raya had won 3, Ramsdale had won 3 as well out of 4. Clean sheets, Raya had kept 3, Ramsdale had kept 1. Goals conceded, Raya had conceded 2 goals, Ramsdale had conceded 4. Save percentage, Raya had 71%, Ramsdale had 55%. So successful long passes, Raya had 28, Ramsdale had 11. So in these metrics, hakuna hata moja Ramsdale anashinda Raya. And then we move to head-to-head comparison after 6 games. The ball playing part. Everyone now has played 6 games for Arsenal between Raya and Ramsdale. So Raya has completed 241 passes, Ramsdale 167. And then 192 out of the 241 for Raya, Ramsdale 111 for out of 167. And then ukiangalia passing accuracy, Raya kona 79.7, Ramsdale 66.5. Now you're starting to see the disparity. Long passes, Raya amepiga 91, Ramsdale amepiga 74. So Raya amecomplete 44 out of 91, Ramsdale amecomplete 24 out of 79 again, amemuosha. Long passing accuracy ya Raya ni 48.4%, ya Ramsdale ni 30.4. Raya kona 305 touches, Ramsdale akona 211. Possession lost, David Raya kona 50, Ramsdale akona 57. Possession lost percentage ya Raya ni 16.4%, ya Ramsdale ni 27.0%. So ukiangalia another stat that Raya anaosha Ramsdale kabisa last season, kitumia stats za last season ni high claims. Raya akona 52, Ramsdale has 22. This is now where the bone of contention, especially for me. High claims bring a lot of calmness, a lot of composure at the back line, because hakuna any spillages, hakuna any chaos, hakuna any 50-50 balls hapo. Because inaonyesha when the ball comes into the box, Raya automatically ni chakula yake. And tukimalizia ukiangalia pia Ramsdale tended to be very good at short passing last season. Ukiangalia graphic from the Athletic in the 22-23 last season. But unaona the first zone Ramsdale is not very good. Place kuna red ndio mahali Ramsdale is passing often. Yeah, so ukiangalia Raya is still better ukicompare hii na ile graphic ya Raya ya short passing. Yeah, so personally, you'll tell me your opinion kwa comments. Personally, from these stats na this comparison, I think Raya is better than Ramsdale so far, and he deservedly is Arsenal's number 1. So ukiangalia Raya, of course, pia is not perfect. He's human. May make mistakes, especially game ya City. He had a very nervy first half. So he was almost caught by Julian Alvarez, and that would have changed the tide of the game really, but he was lucky. But again, ukiangalia the manager hapo backed him. The manager akasema, Arteta replied he's very happy, it was my fault. Arteta anasema ni fault yake because I asked him to do that, especially against this team. You start to do other things and you get big trouble. He was excellent the way he dominated the box, the way he came up for crosses in set pieces as well. Arteta was saying, Raya pia as well alikuwa na interview na the Athletic. He was saying the manager ndio anaminstruct to hold on to the ball, invite pressure. So if when one player from the opposition jumps, there is space, there's an extra man. So like it's intentional. You have to invite that pressure and play through it. The way City do, Brighton again are very good at that. Liverpool do it. Chelsea are as well doing it this season. Yeah, so it's a thing from the training ground. So Raya pia echo the words of Mikel. Raya alisema last week, it's something I've internalized, but it's also the coach's orders. What he doesn't want is for us to start hitting long balls. We have to invite player the opposition to press, to come out a little bit. So player moja akijump, their shape gets a little distorted if they don't press well as a unit. So Raya anasema, I am the free man, and once the striker or someone jumps to me, that leaves a free man on the pitch, and we have to look for superiority with the ball. That's the way the coach tells me to play. So kangalia comparison hapo, you tell me what you think, and who's your preferred goalkeeper for Arsenal and why. And maybe finally tukimalizia stats, the last comparison hapa, malizia the last comparison ni utaona Raya as well bado anaosha Ramsdale in so many, like if you look at his stats, there's no way. I actually am one of the people who never thought we needed a new goalkeeper. I never did. But after digging, this video has also been a revelation to me. Ukiangalia na macho, they look very close. But when you look at the stats now, ni two very different things. Two very different players. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. Niambia hapo kwa comments. Don't forget to like, share na kusubscribe. Soccer Connect, where the game comes alive.